Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Ringside Rundown podcast. My name is Erik Vasquez, and joining me on the line is my podcasting partner in crime. Yes, that rhymes, coming straight from the Berg. She is none other than Shay Hickson. Shay, how are you doing? How was your birthday?
It was pretty good. I can't really complain. It was fun. I had a lot of my friends over for my birthday party, and it was wild. It was loud. I do have some loud friends, but I appreciated them all coming over, no matter how overstimulated I got. But it took me a couple days to recover because I am not the most extroverted person in the world, and so you need to recharge the social batteries a little bit. But it was fun though. I enjoyed it. Had a good time. Got some cool gifts. Couple. It's funny that a couple of my friends kind of thought the same way. One of them gave me a gift certificate to my tattoo shop, and the other gave me money for my tattoo. So
Jeez.
yeah, it's as if they know me after a while. But
Nice.
I'll take it because literally, like we were just talking about before we got on here, good tattoos are never cheap. So gotta keep the money going when you can. But
Definitely.
overall, it's a really good birthday.
I'm glad to hear it. Glad to hear it.
Thank
Well,
you.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's show. For those of you that are new here, the Ringside Rundown podcast is a podcast about professional wrestling where Shay and I cover everything that is happening in the world of WWE, AEW, TNA, New Japan, Ring of Honor, whatever you have it. If it has anything to do with wrestling, we're talking about it. And today's show, we have a pretty big show because we're going to be giving our match ratings for WWE Clash in Italy. And also, we have a bunch of questions from you guys that you guys wanted to get our opinions on, so we're going to be answering some questions as well. We got a pretty packed show, so we might as well not waste any more time. Let's get right into it. Let's talk about Clash in Italy. It was, to me, a very enjoyable show, very easy to digest PLE in the afternoon, so I was happy about that. I am very much a big fan of the afternoon PLEs, so this was an easy sit through, 5 matches on the card. Overall, what'd you think of the show?
Overall, I thought it was pretty solid. Obviously the commercials problem still persists, but unfortunately, that's I don't think gonna go away anytime soon until they decide that making money is not a good thing for them. But other than that, though, no, the matches there wasn't really any match that I thought was like. I'm not gonna say average, but we'll just say every match was good. There was never really anything where I'm like, that was okay. Not sure why they included that on the card, but everything was solid. I think that's kind of what we go back to with the issues we have with AEW, where they put so much on the card where it's like they think it's quantity over quality when it really should be the other way around. But this pay-per-view was proof of that all we had were a handful of matches and they all delivered because they were given time. That being said, though, some of the endings were questionable. Just some of the decisions were a little questionable, but obviously we'll get into those when we get to them. But I don't think it really took away from the pay-per-view a lot. I mean, it definitely knocked maybe some flames down here and there, but overall, I definitely was not disappointed. I would definitely say that would be worth the money for sure.
Definitely. Well, why don't we just get right into it again? There were 5 matches on the card, 4 title matches and 1 singles match. A lot of heavy stuff on the card. It started off big with Cody Rhodes defending the undisputed WWE Championship against Gunther in a match that went on for 11 minutes and 35 seconds. I enjoyed the match itself. It wasn't anything noteworthy or anything crazy to go over. It was pretty easy match. Pretty much, if you've seen a billion Cody Rhodes matches, you've seen this one. He works well with just about everybody, and so does Gunther. Gunther has a very easy style to adapt to. He just kind of throws his chops and throws his clotheslines and all that stuff, so you just kind of have to worry about that. Other than that, I thought the match was pretty good. The only thing I hated the ending. I don't know what they were trying to accomplish with the ending, whether or not they were trying to make it seem like it was supposed to have a controversial ending or if it just happened that way. The way it went down was basically Cody Rhodes hits a crossroads and Gunther rolls really close to the ropes. He's really close to the ropes. Cody goes for the cover. Gunther gets his foot underneath the rope. Now, according to the rules, if the competitor has their foot underneath the rope, the referee must stop the pin count. So the referee didn't see Gunther's foot underneath the rope. He continued the count, and therefore Cody won the match. It kind of just was those endings that was just like, wow, okay, that happened just now. Really? Okay.
Yeah.
No drama really built into the end of the match or anything like that. It just kind of happened in a flash, and I was very confused for about 2 minutes.
Yeah, I will say that these two have good chemistry, but I feel like it definitely wasn't their best. I
Right.
feel like you said, it was barely 11 minutes long, so I feel like it was too short. I feel like it was kind of just, okay, let's just get to the good parts and like hurry up, let's get it over with. Okay, let's get to the ending. Okay, we're done. And it's like, okay, well, for a card that only had 5 matches, you could have given it an extra 5-10 minutes easily.
Yeah.
But so I was a little disappointed in that. And clearly that crowd was almost 1,000% behind Gunther. Like, it was insane. But yeah, that ending just kind of, and it sucks too because we've talked about it before where it's like you'll have these like good matches and then the ending comes along and it's just like, oh, that really took away from the match. Like, oh, that could have been so much better if like
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z didn't happen or X, Y, and Z did happen.
Yeah.
And the fans weren't happy at all. They were booing them out of the building. Yeah,
It felt like the end overshadowed the entire match.
yeah, and that's the one thing we always say you don't want to do because if we can't really pick any specific thing out of the match, so we're like, oh yeah, that was really good, and all we can talk about is the ending. That pretty much tells you it's not great. And I get that. I don't know. I guess maybe that was their answer to, well, we need a third match or we need another match, so we'll do that because that gives him an excuse to like want a rematch. But I mean, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like it kind of makes them look a little silly, but I feel, and it kind of also leans into too towards the end of it when that whole shit was happening and Gunther was losing his mind, which I mean he was doing a very good job of acting enraged as he should have been, but Cody kind of had that shit-eating grin on his face where it was that kind of like not a, oh, whoops, guys, I got one over on him. Gee, my bad. It was kind of like the, I want to punch you in the face kind of smirk that it's like, and like, so we're still kind of possessing those heel tendencies a little bit. So it's like, all right, that's what we're going to do, I guess. But yeah, they just could have done that ending so much better. And like I said, it's a shame because it's overshadowing that the fact of the matter was that it was a pretty solid match. Again, it wasn't my favorite of theirs. Again, I feel like they kind of just blew through it a little too quickly. But yeah, well, clearly we're going to get it again, whether we like it or not, because why else would they have done all of that? So for me, I gave it 3.5 flames. And
Nice.
you also were happy. You were probably not so much happy with the ending itself, but just the outcome because you're just like, oh, I got this in the bag, right? I'm getting my title bag. Like this, I got this in the bag. Don't worry about it. And we'll talk about how that may or may not have happened later in the card. But
wow.
it was. Did you really think we're gonna steer past that? Do you think you can do it?
No, of
You
course
can't,
not. Of course not.
But yeah, I gave it 3.5 flames. I feel like I would have given it 3.25, maybe if the ending was a little better, but it was just too annoying to ignore.
Yeah, I gave it 3.25 flames. The ending really killed it for me because it felt like, I mean, the thing is, if they're scared to have Gunther lose, they shouldn't be because he's not gonna look bad in losing a match. You know,
No.
he doesn't lose very often. So it's not like if he loses to Cody, the champion, that it's going to be a stain on his career. You know, he can afford to lose a match or two clean, you know, here, there. I feel like they tried to overthink it a little bit, tried to do something cute, and it just kind of fell flat. So that's why I kind of knocked it down a little bit. I gave it 3 1/4 flames out of 5. But again, like you said, it wasn't a horrible match. We just seen better out of the both of them, and that ending was a little too over convoluted.
Yeah, it just kind of killed the vibe, which is not great when you're starting your show with it, but thankfully everybody else was able to rebound and pick up the slack because, God, that could have killed the momentum of that show right from the beginning, but thankfully it didn't.
Thankfully, it did not. And then we move on to a match for the WWE Women's Championship where Rhea Ripley defended the title against the former champion Jade Cargill that she defeated at WrestleMania. So this is kind of a WrestleMania rematch. And the one thing I noted from this match is Jade Cargill's performance. I feel like her performances are under a microscope constantly, and I feel like maybe we're at a point now where we can give her some grace and say maybe she can get it done in the ring, because she looked great in this match. All of her spots were hitting well. She didn't look out of place. There wasn't any like sort of clunkiness. They took some risk and did some really crazy things, especially that electric chair where they went to the outside of the ring and Rhea stood on her shoulders. I thought that was crazy. A very enjoyable match. I thought it was very good, and I was they had me kind of a couple times where I thought Jade might get it, but I'm glad that Rhea Ripley ended up getting the win and keeping the women's championship. I gave this match 3 3/4 flames out of 5.
Yeah, I think it would be safe to say that this was probably Jade's best match in WWE to date, and I don't think a lot of people would argue that because, yeah, it looked a little, I don't want to say off. There was just maybe a little like, maybe it's a case of the nerves right at the beginning, but it didn't really take long for her to just get comfortable. And clearly she trusts Rhea, or else these two wouldn't have the chemistry that they do. And they do have chemistry. It's very solid, and we saw that at WrestleMania and translated into this match too. There was definitely, like you said, really no clunkiness, no spots or anything I can think of off the top of my head where I'm like, ew, that was ugly. It was all really solid. Had a little bit of drama on the outside with B-Fab and Charlotte. I feel like the only misstep was kind of when B-Fab went to like grab Jade's foot to kind of like break the pin up. She was very close to being horrendously late and kind of fucking the whole thing up, but thankfully they just recovered from it. But yeah, that was probably the only thing that was just like, yeah, that was yikes. But that also wasn't Jade or Rhea. That was just a timing issue on B-Fab's part. But I feel like this is kind of hinting at the fact that we're going to get Charlotte and Jade at some point, which honestly, I'd be pretty excited to see that because I feel like if Jade can work well with Rhea, I feel like she could work really well with Charlotte.
Yeah.
They're pretty similar in their styles and their statures and whatnot, so I'd be really excited to see what they can do with that. But very glad Rhea held on. I don't think there was really going to ever be any doubt. There were a couple of times, like you said, here and there, where it's like, oh, are they actually going to do this? But I don't think there was ever really any doubt in my mind that Rhea wasn't walking out with that title still. But yeah, I was definitely impressed. I feel like Jade's definitely improved to the point of, I think we can start to give her a little bit of a pass here and there where it's not, okay, well, she's just an experienced guy. She doesn't know any better. Or, oh, well, she's just still green. How is she still green this many years in? If she can get a good match with Rhea, I think you're pretty solid. And again, the fact if you're getting into a program probably with Charlotte right now, even better, because you go from one in-ring professional to another with Charlotte. So I'll be very interested to see how that goes. I'm sure that match will also be great, but glad Rhea picked up the win because I would have been very mad if she didn't. So I also gave this match 3 3/4 flames.
Yeah, it was a solid match, and I'm very happy that Jade was able to have that type of match. And I feel like we say that often about her matches, that it's just she's getting better and better. So I think it's time for us as wrestling fans to maybe give her some grace and trust in her abilities. That's one thing that you and I said from the very beginning when Jade made her way onto AEW. She's got the look, She's got the presence, she's got the confidence, the swagger. All she needs is the experience. And now she's getting the experience with WWE, and you're seeing that she's putting it all together. So great on her. Congratulations to both women for having such a great match, and congratulations to Rhea Ripley for retaining the WWE Women's Championship.
Yeah, can only go up from here.
There you go. So moving on, this match was the first match on because they did the first two matches on ESPN, and then from this match on, it was on the ESPN Unlimited app. So this was kind of like the opener to the big show. I thought this was going on a little bit later, but they actually did it in the middle of the card. I'm talking about a singles match between Brock Lesnar and Oba Femi, and what a match it was. I actually enjoyed this very much because it was how do I explain it? It's the classic Oba Femi took the loss, but he doesn't really lose anything. He actually gained something. I mean, it took 7 F5s from Brock Lesnar, and one including through the commentary table, to get Oba Femi to stay down for the 3 count. 7 F5s, something we've never seen done before, not with John Cena, not with Roman Reigns, not with any other opponent that Brock Lesnar has had before. 7 F5s, and honestly, if it would have went a little longer, he probably would have kicked out of that 7th F5. Oba Femi loses nothing in this loss. Great match. Really nothing to note because it's a Brock Lesnar match. I keep my expectations with Brock Lesnar matches kind of low, so I'm always pleasantly surprised if they go this way. And I was pleasantly surprised with this match because I was pleasantly surprised at the idea that Brock Lesnar gave so much to Oba Femi. I mean, again, you're going to kick out of my finisher 6 times after I put you through a table. That's pretty giving in my eyes. I definitely enjoyed this match. I gave this match 3 3/4 flames out of 5. Again, Brock Lesnar defeats Oba Femi with 7 F5. 7. What'd you think of the match?
I agree with you on the fact of like it's a Lesnar match, so it's just like you don't really expect much of anything for the most part. I wasn't gonna expect a technical masterpiece.
Right.
I mean, we talked about it in the predictions episode. We both picked Lesnar because we just knew how WWE works, and unfortunately, they kind of just. I'll just say they took the easy way out with this booking because you could have made it a little more like dramatic if you had Oba beat him, go down 0-2. And then if you're inevitably going to have this 3rd match at SummerSlam, which I'd assume because it's in Minnesota, I don't know, you could have like done something so dramatic of like, oh, well, Lesnar's back's against the wall. Oh, well, if I can't beat him a 3rd time, maybe I should just hang it up or, do something like that and, ideally get him the fuck out of WWE. But I just feel like the whole 50-50 booking is just kind of like a cop-out at that point because I feel like Lesnar losing wouldn't have really done anything because, again, you could have just organically made the story with the fans being like, oh, he lost to Oba twice in a row. Is he, like, done? Is he, like, washed up? And then you could have had that leading up to SummerSlam. But no, we just went with the easy, oh, well, Lesnar just had to win here, so now we have a justified, if you want to call it that, reason to have the 3rd match at SummerSlam, and you really didn't need to do it that way, but it clearly I don't know. I just feel like it could have been a little more creative with how they went about that. They didn't do that. They took the easy way out, which whatever. Yeah, the match was fine. I mean, we all know I'm clearly such a Lesnar fan that I was just like glued to the TV the whole time. It was what it was. I gave it 3.5 because it's just like, yeah, it was decent. Hated the ending because I just don't think it should have happened, but who am I to say? I just talk into a microphone once a week, so yeah, I gave it 3.5 flames.
Well, there you have it. That's your opinion. You're definitely entitled to it. Like I said, I when it comes to Brock Lesnar matches, I keep my expectations low. So I'm pleasantly surprised many of the times. And again, for the fact that he said, okay, yeah, I'll F5 you 7 times. We'll definitely surprise any wrestling fan. And like I said, this doesn't hurt Obafemi in the least bit. You saw how he was received on Raw on Monday afternoon when he went for his four-way match for the King of the Ring qualifier. The crowd was still definitely behind him. He still had that aura, that presence surrounding him, that dominant force, and he definitely showed that off. So again, this was a situation where, yeah, he lost, but he didn't really lose much.
No, not at all.
All right. So moving on, we have a match for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship where Becky Lynch defended the title against Sol Ruka. These two have been going back and forth, building up a nice little feud with each other, and Becky Lynch doing what Becky Lynch does. She's ever the consummate professional. She knows how to get a talent over, and she's been doing so well with Sol Ruka. They gave them this match on the PLE, and I'm glad that they did. The only thing I would have made this match, I would have gave this match a little bit more time. This one went 14 minutes and 2 seconds. I would have gave it a little bit more time so that way Sol Ruka can show off a little bit more of what she could do. I thought that they worked together well. They have two conflicting styles, but the styles mesh well together. And this match was pretty good. I actually enjoyed it. Sol Ruka ends up finally hitting the Soul Snatcher clean, just like you predicted. Just like you predicted, she hits the Soul Snatcher clean and pins Becky Lynch for the 1-2-3, becoming the new WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion, her first singles title on the main roster. Good for Sol Ruka. I feel like she's gonna do big things with that title, or she might be locked in a feud with Becky Lynch where Becky Lynch might get it back. What'd you think of the match?
I thought it was really good. I agree with you that it needed more time because I feel like the ending was a little just sudden. It just kind of happened and it wasn't as like strong as I think it could have been. But it was just I just took one look at that soul snatcher and I'm like, I could just see him try to argue with me about, oh, maybe that wasn't clean or oh, that was whatever. And I'm like, no, you were good. You took it. You had your Cody gave you hope, and Soul snatched it right from you. So you know what?
Wow.
Just be like that sometimes. But I am glad that I called it and I kept the title for a little bit. But I would like to think, and it's not like it's going to happen because we don't really have a lot of faith in the internet wrestling community. It's funny how we were seeing for how long all these Becky Hogan bullshit takes and this and that, and oh, she can't lose, she always has to win. Oh, why is this always happening? And it's just like, have you actually paid attention to any of her like feuds for this title? Really, she keeps putting younger like roster members over, so I'm not entirely sure where those people are. They're awfully fucking quiet right now, but it's just like I don't want to hear that shit anymore because that's all she's done for the majority of her title runs with the women's IC title is putting over the younger talent. And I just don't get why all of a sudden people just felt the need. I mean, I think that's just like the oldest low-hanging fruit in the book is just, well, just add Hogan to somebody's name. And because if they, God forbid, they win 2 matches in a row and my favorite didn't win, like, they just, it's politicking backstage or whatever. And so it's just stupid. And all these people look probably dumb now doing it, but I'm glad that they gave Sol the chance because I feel like she can handle it. If anybody could, she could handle it. And she is just so good so early on in her career. She can only continue to go up from here. But yeah, I do wish the match was maybe 5 minutes longer. I mean, you really wanted to go wild, do 10, but I just wish they had a lot more time because the ending again was just very weird, very just off. It could have been better than it was, but I still enjoyed it. I feel like I saw someone on Twitter say too, they're like, if Adam Pearce is so like annoyed with Becky constantly complaining about Jessica Carr being the ref of all her matches, no, that's all the collusion, and no, that she's the bane of my existence, and blah blah blah. It's just like, why do you continue to put her as the ref then? Like, if you're tired of hearing about it, just don't put her on the match. Like, it's really not that hard, but I don't know. I mean, the person made a good point. I wish I could find the tweet, but it was a very good point. But besides that, though, now the match was very good. I enjoyed it. wish it could have been a little better with the ending, but I can't have it all. So I gave this one 3 3/4 flames.
Nice, nice. I think I also gave it 3 3/4 flames. Much of
Nice.
much of this card is 3 3/4 flames for me. Very a little above mid for me. It was
Yeah.
still pretty good stuff, and this match was a great example of that. I'm just happy to see someone like Sol Ruka get a chance to show what she can do. Because Sol Ruka, to me, is an interesting story. She comes
Yeah.
from the NIL program, a gymnastics background. She has no background in professional wrestling. She's only been wrestling for 4 years, and she takes to it like this. And it's just one of those things like, man, do you honestly, like, as a wrestling fan, I've seen wrestlers on the indies for 15, 20 years not even make it and get to a status where you're at. It's like, I hope you really love this because you're really, really good at it. And I hope
Yeah.
Sol Ruka has a long, fruitful career because she definitely can make an impact in the wrestling world for sure.
Yeah, I completely agree. It just from the very beginning, she's just been so good. Just so like cool look, cool style. Like she doesn't have a lot of there's really no one you could really compare her to style wise, I feel like, or character wise. And that's nice because I feel like sometimes as a wrestling fan or even just a fan of anything in general, it's very easy to just go there with comparisons sometimes where it's like, oh, that wrestler immediately reminds me of this wrestler because of their character. Oh, this reminds me of like this person's move set or this person's like attitude or promo work and whatever. And it's just nice to have somebody like her where you're like, there is really no comparison to her. She's just her own person and it's just really cool and just I've been a fan of her for a while, especially the stuff with her and Zarya. But yeah, I can't wait to see what she does with this. I mean, preferably we'd like to see Becky move on to something else, maybe. But I mean, if we're gonna keep getting stuff like we had been with her lately, I wouldn't really complain. But I feel like they need to keep that title on Soul for a very long time and see what she can do with it because it is really the workhorse title if you think about it. So if anyone could hold on to it and make it a genuine workhorse title, it would be her.
Yeah, I agree. I agree for sure. So only time will tell. It's going to be interesting to see what is happening. The women's division is on fire right now. Very interesting stuff happening in the women's division, coming with the Queen of the Ring tournament and the fact that people like Liv Morgan, who doesn't have to be in the tournament, is still in the tournament. I believe Sol Ruka is in the tournament as well. I don't have the brackets in front of me, but a definitely interesting time in the women's division. Definitely hot stuff happening in the women's division, becoming one of the more like important segments on the WWE product for sure.
Yeah, I completely agree.
All right. So moving on to the main event, it was Tribal Combat for the World Heavyweight Championship, where Roman Reigns defended the title against his own cousin, Jacob Fatu. And again, this was Tribal Combat, but for me, this one kind of fell short. Like, they did a little bit of brawling on the outside. They went through some tables and stuff like that, but this really didn't have the no disqualification, no holds barred feel to it. This was more just like a brawl. They
Yeah.
really brawled out. They brawled out basically. There was no real structure or wrestling logic to the match, although Roman Reigns did the smart thing and he started to target the hand that Jacob Fatu uses to apply the Tongan death grip, which actually came back to bite Jacob. So this was very interesting stuff from Roman Reigns. He kind of upped his game a little bit, but really nothing. I can't think of anything super noteworthy that made me go, wow, this match is really standing out above the others. Is definitely the main event. I mean, it was hard hitting, but really it was just them two kind of just brawling and see how fast they could take the other one out.
Yeah, I feel like I mean, we always expected it to be a brawl when it came to these two, especially considering it's tribal combat, but I think that maybe that worked against them in this case because you expected the chaos, but I guess it was almost just too chaotic, I guess, in a way, because it was just like you said, there was really no wrestling to really be found here. It was just throw these two in a ring, call it tribal combat, and just let them beat the shit out of each other for what was it, like 20 something minutes, give or
Yeah,
take.
27 minutes and some change.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just kind of maybe a little too much of what we expected, perhaps. I feel like maybe there was also maybe it kind of played into the fact of we really kind of knew that Roman was going to win. I don't really think there was much doubt. I feel like we said it was kind of an easy prediction during the predictions episode, if I remember correctly. So maybe it was kind of that mixed in with there were stakes, but it didn't seem like the stakes were really, I don't want to say believable, but you know what I mean, where it's like the commentary team and everyone's doing a big, like, a good job of making this seem like, oh my god, this might be the last time Roman Reigns as a tribal chief, and oh my god, could you imagine what would happen if that actually happens or occurs or whatever? And it's just like, yeah, but is it really gonna happen though? I guess I don't know. I can't put my finger on it, but you know what I mean, though, right? Where
Right,
it's like
yeah.
you get where they're coming from, but it's also just like, okay, it's not that I don't believe you, but I also don't believe you. So it's like whatever. But I'll be very interested now to see how Roman continues his emotional manipulation and his gaslighting, especially now that Jacob Fatu has to kind of fall in line with him.
Right.
Especially since the MFTs might not be too far behind. So it'll be very interesting to see what Roman does to kind of stir the pot and just be a menace to society. But yeah, it was, like you said, it was all right. It was, I mean, chaotic, which we expected, but I think the chaos kind of took away from the fact that it was still a wrestling match or should have been a wrestling match at the end of the day. But yeah, I gave this one 3.5 flames.
Nice. I gave it 3 3/4 flames out of 5. I'm interested. I will say that this has me interested in how Jacob is going to act around the members of the bloodline now. Is he going to be,
Yeah.
is he going to fall in line? Is he going to be a part of the bloodline now? Is he going to put all of his hostility in the rearview mirror and do the bidding of Roman Reigns like he said he was going to do? That to me is very interesting because that makes the bloodline very powerful to have someone like Jacob Fatu in their corner doing their bidding and doing all of their heavy lifting. That makes the bloodline very powerful. So are they trying to position the bloodline the way they had it back in like 2023 and 2024, bloodline? Are they trying to get back to that prominence? Going to be very interesting to see. I didn't hate the match. I just kind of, like you said, it's kind of what we expected it to be. It didn't really wow us in expectations, didn't go above those expectations, but it was still a solid matchup. So I gave it 3 3/4 flames out of 5.
Nice. See, we
Nice.
were close. We
Yeah.
always are.
Well, yeah, we always usually are very close, usually within a quarter flame or so with each other. So nothing really to worry about there. Overall, what letter grade would you give this PLE? A, B, C, D, or F?
Um, I'd give it a B. I feel like it was good, but it wasn't great, but it also wasn't average. So I
Right.
feel like just a solid, good pay-per-view. It wasn't painful. It was just worth the money, worth the time, but didn't completely knock my socks off. So yeah, we'll just give it a solid B.
I agree. I gave it a solid B plus. I feel like there was the only thing that kind of was a damper was the ending of the Cody Rhodes and Gunther match. But other than
Yeah.
that, I'd say it was a very solid pay-per-view, very easily digestible, well worth the time and money of watching it for sure.
Yep. I agree. See again, what else is new? We're just always in the same kind of mindset. But it's just
well,
us.
well, there you have it. That is our breakdown of WWE Clash in Italy. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the show. Let us know what you thought of the show in the comment section of this post. Let us know if you enjoyed the show, what matches you enjoyed, what will you change, all that other good stuff. We would love to hear from you and get your feedback. So let us know what you thought of WWE Clash in Italy. But now it is time for my favorite part of the show where we get to answer some of your questions. And we got a lot of questions to answer tonight, so we might as well get right into it. What do you have for us? What's on the docket?
All right, so we're gonna start off with Mom's questions and comments. First, I'm gonna kind of go out of order a little bit. She just wanted to congratulate me for keeping the belt. She was very happy.
Okay.
I,
Okay.
I won't go too long on it.
Th-
she said it, not me. Don't
This
shoot the
is
messenger.
obviously this is biasness. This is
I mean,
bi-
I mean, I can't really argue with that one,
this is
but I don't know. She's
biasness.
She seems to think that if I win, it's her win as well too. So I guess I don't know. I mean, it stays in the family, I suppose. But thank you. And well, actually, I had to thank Sol Ruger for that one. She came through for me because Gunther sure couldn't. But actually, that's kind of a lie. Gunther couldn't. Wasn't the one that didn't come through me for me. Creative didn't come through for me, but that's nothing
Wow.
new.
Wow.
But
He's
whatever.
so humble in the win. So
Yeah,
humble in the
it's
win.
so funny how it's like when you do it, it's fine, but then when I can celebrate a little bit, we gotta skirt past it, and no, we can't
No,
really
no,
talk about it. We gotta
no.
go on. We gotta move on. Like, whatever. I was gonna try and keep it brief, so we're done. We'll move on. You'll have another chance, and oh God, when is the next pay-per-view? Not for another few weeks, I don't think.
um,
I don't even remember, to be
the
honest.
27th is Night of Champions. So I don't know when the next AEW pay-per-view is.
Yeah, who knows? I'll hold on to it for a few more weeks, I suppose. But
Wow.
uh,
Wow.
well, when there's no predictions to be made, what do you want me to do? I can't send it back. I
I,
have
f-
to
I,
keep for a little bit, but
I feel like she's rubbing it in, people. She's rubbing it in.
it's nice to do that sometimes. It's nice to get that little moment of glory, but
Next question.
anyway. All right, so we can kind of. I mean, we already kind of obviously talked about this a little bit before. What was our final grade for Clash in Italy? You said B plus. I said B. You said again, very solid show. Not great, but not terrible or average. It's just pretty solid. Can't complain too much about it on that one.
Yep.
All right. So this is her words, not mine, because she agrees with my opinion on this one. She's like Lesnar's returns like a fart in church. You just have to endure the smell until it leaves. Well, unfortunately, we're going to be stuck with him for at least another 2 months or so. And then hopefully after SummerSlam, he will be gone for good and I don't have to talk about him anymore. But I suppose we have to suck it up until then. But yeah, and again, I still don't agree with the ending of that match, but I also am not the only one. I think a lot of people weren't too happy with him winning, but that was their decision to do the 50-50. I just wish they would kind of, get a little creative with that. But again,
I'm just happy it didn't hurt Oba. Like Oba
yeah.
didn't suffer any sort of catastrophic loss to this. His aura is still the same. He's still dominant. He's still, when he comes out, makes you go, wow, look at that guy. So I'm definitely into it.
Yeah, it could have at least been it could have been done worse. It's not like he ate like two F5s and that was it. It's like you had
Right.
to take him down. So it's like I get it, but still could have been a little more creative with the booking into SummerSlam, but that's just me. All right, so mom's last question. I feel like we talked about it a little bit, but I feel like we can bring it up again. She thinks AEW missed a great opportunity for not revealing the wild card at I'm blanking already. It's late. When was the last pay-per-view? The AEW pay-per-view was
Double or Nothing.
Double or Nothing. Yes. So her and I both agree that they kind of missed a very big opportunity moving that match off the card since Willa couldn't make it.
Right.
I feel like it could have been a good surprise moment for a pay-per-view because I do love having those surprise moments. So I feel like taking a slam dunk surprise moment right off your card was a little silly, but I think if I remember correctly, we're going to know who that is technically tomorrow night, but as of this recording when we release it tonight, I think, because I think that match is on Dynamite if I remember correctly.
Gotcha.
I believe so. I don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it is. But I still think it should have been on Double or Nothing's card. But clearly it didn't. But the Athena and Mina match was pretty good though. But I still would like the surprise. And I'm not going to get too much into who I think is going to be the wild card because I think Mike has a question about it later. So we'll hold off on that for now.
Okay.
But I do believe that is all of Mom's questions and comments. So Mom, thank you. We always appreciate it.
Thank you, Mom.
And let us go on to Mike's questions. He's got a handful of them today. So early predictions for King and Queen of the Ring.
Oh, wow. I
I know.
kind of, I kind of am liking the idea of Liv being a champion and going in there and still running the table because, like, I don't know, this title reign has felt a little weird. Like ever since
Yeah.
Stephanie Vicaire got injured, they haven't really done anything with Liv Morgan and the title, so she's just kind of been a placeholder.
Yeah, and I really don't understand that because I feel like this happens with the men all the time where it's like, oh, well, we were supposed to have this plan B and then that didn't work. So, we're just going to have to, pivot and do something else. And then for some reason, sometimes when it comes to the women, it's just like, okay, well, we had plan A and that's not going to happen now. So, yeah, funny story. We don't have a plan B. So we're just going to have to like hold them in limbo and hope that you guys don't pick up on that. And it's like, oh no, we're picking up on it, and it's very stupid. Like I get that you had big plans, but it's not like Liv and Stephanie are the only two on your roster. You have plenty of other options you could do. You're just being lazy and refusing to do it. But I digress on that one. Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to Liv winning because you said clearly she has nothing better to do right now. And really, the only person we know right now that's in the semifinals is Io Sky, which
Yeah.
obviously that's also a solid pick as well, but I feel like it's almost too easy. I'm just looking at the other matches here because we have Liv, Becky, Alexa, and Chelsea Green in one match.
Mm,
And then we have Sol, Lyra, Charlotte, and Jade in another.
that's gonna be a good one.
Yeah. And then you have Bailey, Raquel, JC, and Kiana in the last match. So that one, ooh, they could pull Bailey and Io again in the semifinals. That would be fun. I think that would be a really fun one. Trying to think of what a wild card pick could be because I feel like I would agree with you on the Liv Morgan pick, but who could be like a wild card that we can? One that I guess just not is like it isn't like an easy go to like, oh yeah, I can see her easily winning this. I feel like I mean Lyra wouldn't be a bad one. We kind
I
of
like Lyra.
yeah, jumpstart her a little bit, but I feel like overall I think Liv like the potential's just there, but it's also kind of sad that it's so easy to go there because she has no other option right now because it's just like she won it, everyone was happy. We're like, oh thank God, we're finally gonna like see her at her full potential, and this is gonna be even better than her first title reign. And it's just been kind of like, just like shrug. That's literally it. That's the best way to describe the title reign right now is just shrug because they have nothing for her, and it just blows my mind how one singular person being out with an injury is just derailing another person's entire title run. Like I don't get it, but it is what it is. But for the men,
For the men,
really hard.
I got Obafemi for the men. I don't see anybody
Yeah,
beating Obafemi.
yeah. I said that's really tough to kind of not. I mean, no, and it's not on anybody else in like the bracket. I mean, they all have like their advantages and disadvantages, but when you have somebody like Obafemi in there, he kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. So I feel
Right.
like it'd be kind of silly for him to not. It'd be silly for him not to win, and I feel like the only way he wouldn't is if they kind of pull that bullshit of like Lesnar shows up out of nowhere and costs him the match, but doesn't matter because he already won it, so that's out the window. So I feel like, I mean, unless he costs him in the semis or the actual final, but I feel like if we're going for that whole 50-50 booking thing, at least Oba winning King of the Ring would give him like another boost of momentum after the loss. But again, not like he ever really needed it, but storyline wise, it's like, oh, he's got this momentum. Like he kind of lost some momentum because he lost, to Lesnar, but he can get that back after Clash in Italy. So I could see that happening. But really it's because I don't think there's really any other option at that point. Like you're already going hard on Oba, so you might as well just keep going.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that for sure.
All right, so we both got Liv and we both got Oba, which I really wouldn't be mad about, to be honest. I think it'd be both pretty solid choices. All right, so there's rumors of more members being added to the Vision. So who do we think it could be besides Maxine, of course, because I feel like that's kind of already been established already.
More members of the Vision.
Yeah, which I'm like, do we need more members of the Vision? But
I don't know. I kind of feel bad for the ones that are in there. They're always getting hurt. If it's not Braun with the hernia, it's Bronson Reed's out. Now Logan Paul's out with torn tricep for a couple of months.
yeah.
I don't even know if you want to be a part of the Vision if that's the case.
Mm-mm.
But
I don't think so. But
who could
I don't know.
be who could be Vision bound?
And it's tough because it's like, are we going main roster? Or are we thinking anybody coming up from NXT? Which
Oh,
possibly, but who knows? I don't think there's really. I don't think I've heard anything about anybody coming up from NXT, but
it's mainly who do you think can gel well with Paul Heyman? So who would be like the next Paul Heyman guy?
oh boy. This is tough.
maybe like a Javon Evans if he decided to go to the dark side.
Maybe. I feel like that could work. I feel like people would want to say maybe LA Knight, especially with that like shit
Ooh.
that he was getting into with Pierce on Raw. But my thing is, do you really need Heyman talking for a guy like LA Knight? I don't think so.
You don't. You definitely don't. LA Knight can talk for himself.
Yeah, so I feel like he's kind of maybe for like a reset, possibly, but I don't think that would be like the best case scenario. Just looking through the roster here on Raw to see if there is really anybody.
I like I like the idea of LA Knight because it like makes sense. Like he's been getting on the case of Adam Pearce because the bloodline is getting back together. So he could just be like, hey, I saw the bloodline getting back together, and I'm not gonna be, in a situation where I'm without without backup in case I need it. So that's why I aligned myself with the Vision,
Yeah. I got one. Ethan Page.
Ethan Page would be good.
Be a good one. I mean, and granted, it's also kind of the same argument if he doesn't really need someone speaking for him, but he just has that like arrogance that fits well within the Vision. Just as long as he doesn't get hurt, don't get cursed with the injury bug there. But I think he would do really good with the Vision. I think
so too.
Yeah, so I'd say him or LA Knight, but I don't know what they're doing with LA Knight right now, and it's funny because we're gonna go right into Mike's next question, but based on the interaction between LA Knight and Adam Pearce, could this be the beginning of a Stone Cold versus management angle? It kind of gave me those feelings. I don't.
It's hard seeing LA Knight as that kind of guy.
Yeah, and I think it sounds mean, but it's also just like I don't know if they're gonna want to put that much effort into it because and it sucks because it's like he would do good in that kind of, we'll say not entirely like that, but a Stone Cold-esque kind of program with somebody. But I just feel like every time we think that they're gonna actually put effort into him as a character, they kind of just do a little and then they pull back, and then they like kind of do a little bit again and they pull back again, and it's just like I'll believe it if I see it, if they actually start putting more effort into him, but I just feel like at this rate it's like they've given me no reason to believe they're actually going to, so I don't think it's going to happen. But I mean, this has to be leading to something. It's just a matter of what is it.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see what's going to go on. I feel like with I don't know. It's just, but I mean, it's a good choice though. A lot.
Yeah.
Like you made several good points. You made several good points. So I'm on your bandwagon.
Well, I appreciate that. I do my best sometimes. Alrighty, so who was a better manager to consistently be a thorn in the side of a champion? Heenan with Hogan or Heyman with Undertaker?
Oh, Heenan with Hogan, without a doubt. Heenan with Hogan, that was like he tried to do everything in his power. It didn't matter if it was Andre the Giant or somebody else. he was going after guys to see anybody could take down Hogan. He just wanted Hogan without that title. If it meant like selling his own children, he would have done it. Like, that's how deeply he did not want Hogan to be the champion.
Yeah, I feel like Heyman with Undertaker was like, yeah, annoying, but it was like Heenan with Hogan was like a personal vendetta.
Right,
So
yeah.
it almost seemed like there was some real life animosity in there. We're just very good at making it seem like there was real life animosity. So yeah, I feel like Heenan with Hogan is definitely the obvious answer, I think. I think you hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so one of the big questions, did we watch the AAA Mask versus Mask match, and do you agree with it being a match of the year contender? I did
Oh,
not get to see it. I saw bits and pieces of it online, and boy, did it look really good. I would say
yeah.
it pretty warrants the hype.
Yeah, I watched it. I would say, you could put this on your, if you have like a multiple match of the year list,
Mhm.
like, some people like to do multiple matches of the year, not just one single solitary match. I think if you're going one single solitary match, this might be tough, but it was a very fun, very good match. I enjoyed the watch. The crowd definitely added to it. The
Oh
crowd
yeah.
gave it an extra boost of like, oh, this is big fight stuff. This is important stuff, and they made everything seem real, and they were biting on every single near fall. So yeah, it definitely had match of the year vibes going for sure.
Yeah, and I thought it was just very interesting how sometimes what you think is going to be a catastrophic incident outside of the ring ends up being organically probably one of the better things to happen, because that whole thing with Ludwig Kaiser and the whole arrest and getting bailed out of jail by Gunther and that whole mess of it wasn't actually from what I mean, obviously from what we know, it wasn't really his fault. He was just defending his girlfriend, which I mean, I feel like we could obviously give him a pass on that one, especially with the guy being clearly racist, which go fucking figure. But then to have that continuously just that surge of just support and popularity for him on top of the fact that he was already popular to begin with as Grande Americano, but then for that stuff to happen and then for people to just fully jump on the bandwagon with them, especially in Mexico, it was just it was insane. But
Yeah, they really they look at him like a god in Mexico now. It's so crazy.
yeah, and it's so funny that it's just like this was supposed to be just kind of the parody because the interesting thing is that the first version of this whole Grande Americano didn't work because it was had some very racist undertones to it, so it did not go over very well at all. This is like, no, he's fully embracing the Mexican culture without appropriating it or making it like a joke. And I think that's what people appreciate because everybody knows that he's not Mexican. I mean, everyone knows Kaiser, but it's just the fact of he's doing it so tastefully is what I think people are loving more about it.
Yeah.
And so now we don't have to deal with, oh, who's the real Grande Americano? And oh, the other one's still there. It's just like now he's got it and he can run with it. And yeah, it's like it's very fun to see. And you can tell that it really does mean a lot to him because that reaction he was getting, bringing him to tears, literally bringing him to tears because it's just he probably thought that this is all over. I was in jail. I had to get bailed out. My career's over, at least this part of my career's over, and to have it go the complete 180 was good for him. I'd say he's more than earned it.
Yeah, I definitely don't think they knew what they were getting when they started this whole idea of El Grande Americano. I don't think they thought that it would reach the heights that it did because this guy is a made man in Mexico. The
Yeah.
Mexican people really took to him and they really love him. He can be their next big star, which is crazy because this was supposed to be a goof.
Yeah.
This was supposed to be, like you said, a parody. It wasn't supposed to be something that's serious as it is right now. So good for Ludwig Kaiser, El Grande Americano. I think he's going to be holding on to that for a little while longer. And I want to see if if the popularity can transfer over to somewhere here in the States, if
Yeah.
maybe people will pick up on. I feel like this show that happened for AAA is a stepping stone to get people involved. I know, like, my dad even texted me. He's like, I like AAA. I might keep watching it. I thought it was a great show overall. The whole show was a lot of fun. So I'm gonna definitely keep watching. Um, and yeah, shout out to El Grande Americano.
Yeah, the true one now. Now that we
The-
finally figured that out, the true thing now. But yeah, good for him and good for that show. Because like I said, from what I could see, it looked really, really good. Speaking of, we gotta. Mike's been very good at the subtle transitions on these questions. So now, what do you think's next for Chad Gable? Because now he is not Grande Americano anymore. He lost the mask. So what do we think's going on with him?
I really hope he decides to show up on Raw and like does something, where he can be Chad Gable and just be himself. I feel like he's constantly being saddled with these gimmicks and he's making them work, but I mean the best thing you can do is just let him be himself. So I think they
Yeah.
just need to give him a shot, give him something, a random feud with like a Javon Evans or a Penta, or would be a lot of fun. So I want to see Chad Gable get right back into it. I don't want to see too big of a layoff.
Yeah, I want him to just be. I also just want him to be like serious too. I don't want him, like you said, I want him to be himself. I don't need him to be any more comedy, parody, anything. Just let him do his thing, and that's it. Because we've seen glimpses of that, and it's worked. They just need to fully lean into it and stop trying to make him do something for the funnies. But I hope they do. If not, let him go somewhere else where he can actually be serious and not have to constantly be a joke all the time.
Mm.
So there's that. And now we're going to move into NXT a little bit. I don't know if you've been paying attention because I've been struggling a little bit with NXT lately, but are you surprised Dark State booted Sugars out of the group? Was it too soon? Was it not soon enough? It seems like Dion Lennox has emerged as the leader of the group now.
Yeah, I was never too big on Dark State. I felt like the way they were presented was completely opposite of what they should have done. They should have made them like silent assassin killers who strike in darkness and everything like that. But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like right off the bat, they're showing personality and cracking jokes and cutting these long-winded promos. So it kind of took me out of the idea of what Dark State could have been. So I was never really high on them, but I do say that Dion Lennox has a great look to him and that he has the look of a future star. He just needs that experience and that time in the ring to get him out of the greenness.
Yeah, I feel like from what I've seen, it kind of again leans into what we always talk about when it comes to those like darker, edgier kind of characters. They never seem to know what to do with them. And Dark States, I mean, could have been a darker, edgier kind of faction. Like you said, work in the shadows, be the assassins. Like the lights go out, the next thing you know, somebody's on the ground and they're gone. It's just like it could have been so much. The potential was there, but for whatever reason, they just decided to go with personality, which is fine, I guess, but I feel like just not for them. But again, what do we know? We just talk into a mic for a couple hours a week. But
Yeah, basically.
oh well. All right. So this has been a hot topic from what I've seen online. And do we think Britt Baker is going to be the wild card for the Owen Hart tournament?
Ooh, I think it would be smart. They always constantly say, "Oh, Britt Baker's not around. We simply don't have anything for her." Well, this is something for her.
Yeah, like this is literally. Well, and the worst part is that part of me is also thinking, okay, well, you guys had 5 million other opportunities to do this, and yet nothing. Like again, you keep saying, "Oh, well." Britt's still a part of AEW and she's such a important part of the roster and we're just waiting. Like you said, waiting for the perfect time for her to come back. And it's just like, dude, can you stop giving the same answer 5 different ways? Because it's like, she hasn't wrestled in, what, almost 2 years now? Coming up, I think, almost 2 years.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is your opportunity. And the worst part is that I have said it in several versions and several instances of if she doesn't show up here, she's not coming back. Perfect example, when AEW was last in Pittsburgh, could have been a perfect example. Tony loves his hometown moments. He loves the hometown, like, crowd celebrations and whatever for his wrestlers. Nobody has had some bigger moments in their hometown than Britt did. Am I biased? Absolutely, but it's the truth. She's had massive, huge moments in AEW when they're back in Pittsburgh, and she was nowhere to be found. So that kind of showed me, if you're not going to bring her back in her hometown in front of the fans that are going to cheer for her no matter what, when were you going to bring her back? When they had the casino battle royals last year, I think, could have brought her back as one of the surprises because you had the opportunity to do so. You didn't do it. So there's no indication to make me feel any differently about this. Who would it be other than Britt? I don't really know. I feel like
Mercedes, maybe?
Yeah, I feel like that is so easy. I feel like that is such an easy go there, and I really hope they don't. Ruby Soho, maybe? We haven't seen her in a while.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that. I mean, yeah, of course I'd love Britt to come back. It's just at this rate, I'm just a realist, or I'm a cynic at this point. Let's just put it that way. Until she actually shows up, I'm not going to believe a word Tony Khan says about, oh, she's still part of AEW and she's an important part of the roster. I won't believe it until I actually see it. And until that music hits tomorrow night, again, I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow night, I'm not going to believe it. But I feel like the worst case scenario would be Mercedes, because again, I think it's just so easy to go there. But I don't know. That's a whole other can of worms in and of itself of why they didn't do more with her downfall in actual AEW programming, not just social media. But I don't want to beat a dead horse on that one. But it's just I don't know. I was even looking it up just to see if the rumor mill was saying anything about Britt, and this was even a couple days ago. It was literally last Friday, and Tony Khan literally was on a podcast and said verbatim, let me see it, Britt's still somebody very highly regarded and respected here in AEW, so I would expect to see Britt back in AEW. I just don't want to say when. So it's so what the fuck's that supposed to mean then? It just drives me nuts. But yeah, I don't know. It's just I feel like that could be an actual genuine surprise, I would think, because I think so many people are expecting Mercedes that it'll just be oh, well, okay, I guess, cool. But if you actually want to genuinely shock people, have it be Britt, because at this rate, I think most people are losing hope. But
yeah, he can't. I don't understand how he can call her an important part of the roster when she hasn't been seen in 2 years. You know?
Yeah, the fact that the most time we've seen her on TV was the NFL draft, that pretty much tells you all you need to know. But we'll hold out hope, I guess. Maybe not a lot of hope, maybe a little sliver of hope, but it's just at this rate, it's just gotten too I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, so Mike knows he got the backpack, but please don't tell me Takesha's going to join the conglomeration. He just got out of a faction. Yeah, I would agree with that, because I feel yeah, he could be funny, he could have his lighthearted moments and whatever, but it's just I don't know. I don't see the point of that. I guess the thing they could run is oh, see, no, here, you can be with a real faction that actually doesn't treat you like shit, and see, it's really great, but it's he's the kind of guy that doesn't need it.
I would much rather like to see him on his own now and see what he could do by himself.
He can do a lone wolf thing, and he could even tell them that. I'll be look, guys, I appreciate the backpack. I appreciate not having to carry my title around in an inconvenient way or whatever, but yeah, I don't know, maybe just have cold feet from the whole factions thing. So it's yeah, I'm gonna be a lone wolf for a little bit, but now I appreciate the gesture, and maybe they just maybe after a while he could possibly like join them, but I wouldn't say right away. I would definitely wait a little bit for that, but
Mm.
it was funny. It's just I'm glad he has his own backpack. We all need to carry our stuff around somehow. Alrighty, so our last question of the night. It's not enough that AEW does the eliminator matches, but now they're starting the if you last 5 minutes, you'll get a title match stipulation. What would you do away with one or both of those stipulations?
I always hated the eliminator. I would do away with both. I think it's I think the idea that you have to win a match against the champion to get the championship match is kind of dumb. So I would do away with both of them. I don't care for either of them. I hate the idea of having to beat the champion just to get a championship match.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10 when that actually happens, it doesn't actually end up meaning much anyway because the champion's going to win regardless. It's just
Right.
I don't know. I don't like either of them. I think the whole you got to last 5. I don't know what it's like they're doing it with like divine Lord. Yeah, it's just like I get it because they're both very powerful and well, if you can last with them, that's really impressive, but it's just like it's just an eliminator match with another coat of paint on it, and it's still just as stupid. Like, okay, one of these days you're gonna run into a team that they're gonna last longer than 5 minutes, and it's like, okay, well, congratulations, you've achieved something that most matches do is go past 5 minutes. It's like, is that really special? I feel like it just, I don't know. I don't agree with the eliminators because it's just like, normally you could just, I don't know, just say, I want a title match. And the guy's like, and whoever's just like, yes or no. And if they say no, you wrestle other people to prove that you are worthy of facing the champion, not just the champion. It never made any sense to me.
I agree.
I'm surprised. You could have went a longer winded rant on that one, but I think it's just plain and simple. It's just stupid.
Yeah, I think my feelings about the eliminator matches have always been known. If I didn't like them because I just didn't like the idea of you have to beat the champion just to get a championship opportunity. Just give them the championship match. Just give them the champion, and especially if you're gonna have them lose, just give them the championship match and have them lose the match.
Yeah, it's just I don't really.
It's one of those things where you could tell AEW put too much thought in something that doesn't deserve that much thought.
Yeah, because it's like that is such a minute, minuscule part of your programming that it's just like, okay, well, that could easily just be fixed by literally what I just said. I want to wrestle you for the title. Yeah, sure, you're on. No, you got to prove yourself. Okay, I'm going to go wrestle these insert 5 wrestlers here. I've done enough now. You can't deny me, and the general manager can't deny me, so now I have a title match. There you go. That's it.
Yeah, there you go.
That's all you need. It's not that hard, guys, but clearly it is for AEW sometimes. But again, just add that to the list of things that annoy us. But that's just how it is. But I do believe, let me double check so I don't say something silly, but that is all the questions we have for tonight.
All right, we got through them all, plus our breakdown of Clash in Italy. What an episode. What an episode. Thank you guys for listening very much. Just to let you know, you can find this podcast on all podcast platforms and also on YouTube. It's available on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, Good Pods, Audible, Amazon Music. Basically, wherever you listen to podcasts, all you have to do is just search Ringside Rundown, hit the follow or subscribe button, and then you won't miss an episode. We drop an episode every week. If you do not have a podcast platform that you use, don't worry, you can also listen to the show on YouTube. Check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@RingsideRunPod for all Ringside Rundown episodes and other content as well. You can check me out every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday on twitch.tv/Ringside Rundown, doing live watch-alongs of all WWE and AEW TV programming and WWE PLEs. Again, that's twitch.tv/Ringside Rundown. I'm on there every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Unless it's a PLE, whenever the PLE is happening, I'm on there as well. Shay, where can they get in touch with you?
You can find me on my wrestling Twitter at JRingside_. Like we always say, I just took Eric's homework and copied it just a little bit, but not enough to make it obvious.
There you go. Go give her a follow. She is well worth your follow. Definitely deserving, and check her out when you get a chance. I think our next episode we can finally do the Ask Us Anything episode.
Yeah, I think we've been hinting at this and talking about it for what I feel like has been a month at this point, but we've finally gotten to a part in wrestling right now where the schedule's clear. We have nothing to talk about like pay-per-view wise to next week. So, you know what? I think we should do the Ask Us Anything. I think it's finally
Yes.
time.
It's basically you can ask us anything. It doesn't have to be wrestling related. It could be anything about music, movies, sports, TV shows, gaming, whatever you can think of. Ask us anything as long as it's in the rules. You know, you don't want to be offensive or anything like that. But if you want to get to know Shay and I on a deeper level, then ask us some questions. Ask us anything you would like to know to get to know us, and we'll answer it on the show. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I always look forward to the Ask Us Anything. It's probably some of my favorite episodes because we do love talking about wrestling, but we have a lot of other interests outside of wrestling as well. So it's nice to kind of give the listeners a sneak peek into what else do we talk about and have fun with when we're outside of the wrestling world.
There you go. So that'll be next week's episode. Ask Us Anything. I think it's our third one that we've done so far. So I'm excited to get to it. Ask Us Anything 3 next week here on the Ringside Rundown podcast. So for Shay Hickson, my name is Erik Vasquez. Thank you for listening to the episode. Tell all your friends and family members, if they enjoy wrestling, to check out the Ringside Rundown podcast and be a part of the show. Thanks for listening, guys. Check you out. See you next time.
See you later, guys.